Rick and Morty, 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 Morty. Hey Rick heads, welcome to another Rick and Morty video. Rick and Morty is great. So, with season 6 ending, I think it's fair to say that the series is still trying to pace out Rick's character development into turning him from more of an anti-hero to a general just good guy, while still being realistic. But something I wasn't expecting more in Season 6 is the upping of responsibility and consequences. As I already talked about in my last Rick and Morty video, link in the description if you care about things, thanks Jan. Season 6 already started off with reminding Morty that, you can't run away from the past. It's there. It's always there.
Oh yes, the past can hurt. But the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it.
But this is also brought up later in the season with the whole Sun episode thing. Sun episode. And I think it's safe to say that Season 6 was much more rounded than Season 5. Incest, baby. That's it. I changed my mind. This is the worst episode. I hated it. Why are there buff horses? And even though, spoilers, by the way, Rick ends up being a little bit of an ass.
Betrayal on all sides!
It's still worth noting that the show is still highlighting his development, but in a more controlled way. Think about how serious the tone is of the Pissmaster episode. Fuck this show, I hate these names. And how Rick still ended up jumping in and doing something healthy. The majority of Season 6 is highlighting that Rick is doing something selfless for the sake of others in the family unit. For the most part, except for the ending there, which the opening of Season 6 set the tone for.
I don't know him! You're my grandpa, Rick! Rick and Morty, 100 years!
The rising moral responsibility is also briefly highlighted at the opening of Season 5, where Morty is fixing Rick's mistakes. Can't fix Jerry, though, which makes the show seem to imply the characters have a responsibility to fix the messes that they've caused. Remember this line?
What about the reality where Hitler cured cancer, Morty? The answer is don't think about it.
Well, Season 6 is implying that might not be true after all.
Maybe we should just jump universes.
I don't know, buddy. Feels like we're kind of more about trying out commitment now, Let's put our heads together. Maybe there's something we haven't tried yet.
And let's face it, there's a lot of death in Rick and Morty. From the Ricks and Mortys, the main duo place, to remember that whole Citadel episode? Even though that's from Evil Morty, my point is, not only would it be interesting to see how other Ricks end up taking residence in the Citadel, but also some of these other Rick backstories. And remember, there are deaths that C-137 seems to be directly responsible for, if we remember that cutaway from his backstory that we saw in Season 5. He's just kind of killing Ricks before he realizes who's the right Rick. That's probably not the best idea.
Yeah, just like in Star Wars. Go nuts!
My guess is we'll see more backstory coming out of how Rick Prime left his Diane, or if his Diane is a clone or something, the one that already died in the Cronenberg world, whatever, it's confusing. But something I think would be a good twist is having a family member, possibly Beth because she seems the most capable, going on a similar revenge kick as C-137. Think about it. An evil Beth shows up, maybe sneaking in by disguise, knowing Rick's history and highlighting his hypocrisy of killing others by avenging someone who was killed. Where'd all the Ricks come from, yo? Maybe her Rick is Simple Rick. Maybe he was a much better father. And maybe he has a healthier attitude than, someone's ribbing on him. Just because Morty called you boring doesn't mean he's socially rejecting you, Rick. God, Rick.
You took the sword?
So boring.
Oh, like you're not at this point, you drunk, cranky fuck.
Something that also hasn't been straightened out yet is the timeline in the ABCs of Beth. If Rick's Beth was killed when she was little, would all those memories be up until she was killed, or did something else happen? Was Prime Rick maybe an okay father? I don't know yet. He had to at least marry his Diane and have Beth, so shrug. I think his reaction to this would be a good and much clearer show of his future current character development, or to see where he is on the scale at this point. Is he there yet?
No.
Are we there yet?
No.
Another reason that this might be a fun idea to explore is that it puts Morty in kind of an interesting position. Morty's relationship with Rick has been fluctuating through the entirety of the show, from fear to realized dependence to being betrayed again.
Betrayal.
Morty has been pretty forgiving of Rick in the past. That's like Morty's whole deal.
You guys really are bred for forgiveness.
Besides being horny. But having someone call out Rick's toxicity would either make Morty play a middleman, or highlights suspense by his actions being unpredictable, adding extra confusion is if his character is sympathetic to another member of the family. For example, if this is a Summer, then the Summers might have an easier time seeing eye to eye by having a grandfather that actually adores her with no strings attached.
Wait, we don't have to do this. We're both Summers. Shouldn't we at least try Molly before we die? You know what? Yeah, fuck this noise.
The complete opposite of what we saw in the Gotron episode. So overall, I really enjoyed Season 6. I'm kind of disappointed this Wormageddon egg thing, what the fuck ever, ended up just being a way to promote this new season, and basically put selfie spots in Las Vegas or whatever. But I think the show is doing such a great job with both keeping itself fresh, but also engaging and original. Again, like South Park. I used that comparison in the last Rick and Morty video, thanks for keeping up with my continuity. But I think it's an interesting idea to explore the themes we saw in Season 6. So while we're in between Season 6 and 7, I figured I would throw this fan theory in there in case anyone wants to use it. You totally can. I'm letting you. For your fan fiction or for other things, just credit me. And that's all, folks, except it's not time for the ending gag.
How? Obvious. As the original article, my intellect's undiluted by the cloning process that created you.
Oh, please, just open the door.
Say it? You cheap, genetically inferior knockoff.
Say it, or stay here forever. I'm the clone.
Yes, you are.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please remember to leave a comment and share this video with a friend or pure 5. Click here to subscribe, we really appreciate it. Click here to check out the main collaborator for the video. Click here to check out our video playlist for this video, where you'll find similar videos that you might just like, hopefully. There's also a credit scroll here to check out all the other awesome contributors. All their info is in the description. That's all I gotta say, KP away!